Football. A game where greatness is defined in an instant. A game of suspense, skill and strength. A game of trials and triumphs. All in the pursuit of one thing: victory. Experience all football has to offer. See Victory League live.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to KG5 Football Park for tonight's Round 20 Victory League clash between Tilford Zebras and Kingborough Lions. I'm Damien Gill from FFT, bringing this one live to you over a special live stream on the Football Federation Tasmania website. Today I'm joined by Alex Luttrell for tonight's commentary. He's about to sip into a coffee, so I've pretty well stitched him up, but I'll grab your thoughts ahead of tonight's contest.
Well, the key to tonight's fixture, Gilly, is the Zebras could go 12 games undefeated. Zebras could go 12 games undefeated, a feat they haven't achieved since the 2007 Southern Premier League season, that was their last premiership before South Hobart's takeover of the Tasmanian landscape. So probably their best season for a number of years, the Zebras, who have done quite well in challenging South for the most part up until last week, obviously. But big game going into the Victory Cup, last two matches. Obviously, effectively dead rubbers, but both coaches, or all coaches in the Victory Cup, will want to get some good form going to the finals and take home that trophy and prevent South from going basically a complete sweep of the major trophies this season, obviously with Olympia taking it the Summer Cup as well.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Of course, the title wrapped up last week, but I don't think there's any foot off the pedal for Tilford Zebras, as you said, going for 12 straight undefeated. All wins, two draws in there, sorry. One against South Hobart and one against Rangers. So it'll be interesting to see what Tilford Zebras deliver tonight. We'll go through their lineup in a moment as we just get things moving here as the teams come out onto the pitch. Internet's letting me down, it has to be said, Ludders. Not loving my work, the internet, but we'll get onto it in a moment, the team lineups, and we'll quickly bring them to you. But first of all, my tip for this evening's game: I think Tilford Zebras will be too good against Kingborough Lions. Kingborough Lions have shown good form in patches this last couple of weeks, Ludders, but I think too much quality on paper for Tilford Zebras. We'll see them get over the line. I think Alex Lazinski will have a night out, and might put away a couple, and will be well accompanied by his partner in crime, Adam McEwen.
Yeah, I reckon McEwen in behind Lazinski tonight will be one of the keys for the Zebras to take the points. They have been challenged by the Kingborough Lions at times this season, but I reckon they'll be far too dominant out here at KG5. Curran Ferns for mine will be the fire starter, so to speak. I think he'll have a lightning game in the middle of the park. Obviously, unfortunately, recently cut from the state squad for lack of discipline on social media, but there's no mistaking his talent when he gets the ball in the middle of the park. Obviously, since switching from South Hobart, from a fullback role into the number 6 role for the Zebras. So the teams get into their huddles, and you've got the team list for me, mate.
Yeah, Internet's decided to play ball at the right time, so we'll go through the lineup in no particular order. Russell Courtney, number 4 for Tilford Zebras tonight. Ethan Engels, number 12. Henry Fagg, number 8. Matthew Ferguson, number 1, in between the 6 for the Zebras. Curran Ferns, number 2. Josh Fielding, number 7. Alex Lazinski, 13. Adam McEwen, 14. Matthias Toggill, 5. Dwayne Welsh, 9. Ben Whitehall, 15. On the bench, Andrew Clark, David Cox, Marcello Marcioli, Nathan Pitchford and Andrew Taliga. Get onto Kingborough quickly. We are not far away at all from a kick-off here. We'll get it as soon as we can. We might have to bring it once play's got underway, but won't be a moment. It looks like Zebras are firing towards the Grove Road end, and we have Kingborough Lions shooting up towards the footy oval. Kingborough Lions lineup: Danny Cohen, number 7, Nick Cuthbertson, number 5, Andrew Duncan, number 1, Phil McEldowney, 13, Trent Pearce, 14, Joel Scutt 11, Jack Turner 18, Lewis Vidal 8, Ben Watkins 10, Dean Watkins 12, and Tom Young 9 makes up Kingborough Lions starting 11 with Theon Collins, Joe Davis, Rowan Gillum, and Dylan Lowe in reserve. We're just about to get underway. Kick-off for Tilford Zebras, and here we go. Lazinski to McEwen, back to Ferns. He'll look to measure a pass to Russell Courtney there, who's in the heart of defence, out on the far side to Fielding. He skips a little ball along the right and looks for Whitehall, and breezes past him and seen out by McEldowney out there on the far side. A throw-in comes in. It's scooped along by a header from Lazinski. One well by the Lions, and now it's with Jack Turner in midfield. He's the real heart and soul of their midfield engine, Ludders, as McEldowney wins the ball, plays along, finds Vidal, puts it into the middle. He's threaded back nicely to Watkins there, and it comes back out to Vidal. He looks to skip by Fielding. Old Silkbox's Fielding. Can't do much about that one. A delightful ball coming from Vidal into the box. Almost picks out Cohen, but some good work at the back by Dwayne Walsh.
Matthias Tolkien there, just getting a little bit of a hip and shoulder in at fullback, obviously replacing Kurt Engels, who's been out. He's out for the season, I think, with a meniscus injury. I'm not too sure what the injury is, but he is out for the year, and puts his state prospects in serious doubt. So the corner for the Kingborough Lions, Trent Pearce will take this one with a loud set of orange wheels. I think we've got Theon Collins now coming over to take it. So young Theon can offer up here. Sends it in down the guts, falls out the back, and it's cleared out well by Adam McEwen. Comes all the way out, Ethan Ingles pressuring there. He's got the ball off the lines. He comes forward, young Ethan Ingles. Can he outpace? He cannot, and Scutt gets back just to mop that one up quite well and sees it out. Ethan Ingles was away there and just didn't quite have the pace to get around Scutt in the end, but luckily for the Lions, they get away with that one. Throwing comes from Walsh, looking for McEwen. Scutt gets to it first. Pearce back to Scutt. He goes down the line, cut out by Henry Fagg. McEwen on the ball now. He puts through Whitehall on the right. He's bustled. The ball is bustled out by Tom Young. So Whitehall will take the throw in now on the right-hand side, just level with the 18-yard box. Goes to Fagg, who chests down, gets through the Lions' defence, and it's cleared out by McEldowney. McEwen, though, gets to it. Turner gives him a bit of a challenge and a high boot there from Jack Turner. I think it just inadvertently.
He's copped him fair there, you got to say. McEwen in a bit of pain. I just realised we've got the makings of a very good film out here on the pitch. Turner and Hooch. Henry Fagg, of course, known as Hooch. And Jack Turner for Kingborough. Turner and Hooch here tonight at KG5. Along with the game, you also get a tremendous film. I think that one, I wouldn't rush to the video store for it. It's not amazing. But regardless, back to the football. Lazinski over this free kick from range. He's got Whitehall near him. Lazinski takes it flat, straight into the wall, comes back. Chips it over the top. He's picked out Courtney to perfection, and he's chipped it over delightfully, but unfortunately he's a fair way offside, and it'll be a goal kick for Kingborough Lions. Just going to confirm who's in Turner and Hooch. Might do a little bit of research. Turner and Hooch. As Andrew Duncan looks to bring the ball back into play. So Turner and Hooch, yeah, Tom Hanks and a dog. What a delightful film. Pumped out from the Kingborough keeper out onto the left side, looking for Ben Watkins out there. Goes over his head, bounce out of place, or a throw for Walsh. Gets it down the line, and it looks like it's Scutt that brings it back there. Scutt playing in a fullback position, Alex Luttrell. A bit of an interesting change. Of course, we've seen him more in a attacking mindset as the ball comes down the right-hand side through Ferns, seen out by Kingborough. Ferns brings it back in. To Lazinski, scoops over the top of the Whitehall. Nice volley across the box, but unfortunately, offside once more thwarts this Tilford Zebras attack. We're 5 minutes into this encounter, and so far, 0-0, and no real shots in anger for either side.
You did mention that Joel Scott is playing in the fullback role, Damo, with Dean Watkins playing further up the field from his usual fullback role at the left. So he offers a lot of pace, and we've seen it. He's been in the team of the week a few times. He's a great young talent for the Lions, real good prospect for the future, and see what he can offer up in more of the wing position. They'll be giving good chase there, just to pressure the keeper. And it's gone out to McEldowney, who's missed it completely. Ingles, good pressure from him. T-Stock here with the throw in now on the left-hand side. There he goes long, looking for Ingles in the box. It's cleared out only ever so slightly by Young from off his head there. Turner stuffs up the shot. And Matthias Toggle lays in tackle into Cuthbertson, and the ball has gone out, luckily enough for the Lions. A little bit scrappy in the back here, the last 30 seconds, the Lions. So McEldowney with a throw on the right. He goes centrally, finds Adam McEwen, and his header falls to Nick Cuthbertson, who goes across to Scott. He's in the 18-yard box. He goes looking for Watkins, intercepted by Walsh very well. Great pace from Dwayne Walsh. He sends in a low cross, and he's fouled in the process by, I think it was, Joel Scott there, just tracking back. I think it's actually my mistake. It's Ben Watkins playing up the left wing, not his brother Dean.
I'm sure Dean is happy with the credit. Ball comes across from Whitehall to the head of McEwen. He can't get enough on it. Comes out to Lazinski. He hammers in at McEldowney. Cries for a penalty. It spills to Silk Boxer's fielding, and he finishes wonderfully into the bottom left corner. There you go. Old Joshy Fielding, a journeyman, and he's made Kingborough pay there. They should have probably cleared that one, but not to be, and away it goes. Good bit of work by Joshy Fielding.
Yeah, what a great finish it was, Gilly. He really, as soon as he just lined up for that one, he knew that his experience was going to pay off, and he buried it bottom corner. McEldowney now with the ball at the right after the restart. Goes to Vidal. It's intercepted very well by Matthias Stockhill. Looks to put in Lazinski. His pass is cut out by Trent Pearce, and it falls out. I think it's Andrew Duncan in goals, is it, Damo? Yes. He goes out to Tom Young, who receives it back from Pearce. He goes out wide to Scott in an unfamiliar position, I must say. It's a bit unusual seeing him at the fullback role. Dean Watkins now goes out to his brother in Ben. He looks down the line for Danny Cohen. Watkins again down the line, looking for Cohen, intercepted very well by Josh Fielding. It's gone out off Cohen for a throw in for the Zebras. Dwayne Walsh to take. He's looking for some options, but no real movement. Opts to go long down the line, looking for Lazinski, and he has fouled. I think Ben Watkins in the process there. So Joel Scott will take the resulting free kick. Goes short. He has not gone short. I thought he's left it for jump the gun there. He left it for Trent Pearce. He goes long, looking for Vidal. Headed cleared by Matthias Toggle. Vidal finds it again. Receives the 1-2 from Dean Watkins. Turner and Alex Lazinski clash there, and there's a foul from Lazinski, and they remonstrate with each other. A little bit of a push and shove. Lazinski, very physical-minded player, as is Turner, so be interesting to see if those two clash at all anymore tonight. Dwayne Walsh with the ball now, goes across to Josh Fielding, who goes back to Russell Courtney. He puts it back into Fielding. Too much space here, no real forward pressure from the Lions. Courtney goes out to Matthias Toghill now on the left. Now Vidal offers up a good little bit of pressure, so he's forced to go back to Henry Fagner's Toghill, who comes forward, sends it long, looking for the run of Dwayne Walsh. The lightning feed's gotten through the Lions line, sends an attempted cutback, and it's Tom Young has done very well twice, deceiving Dwayne Walsh there with a couple of crosses, and the Lions come out with it in the end.
Beautiful work there by Tom Young. Gets it going Kingborough's way. It's Cohen now. Spreads out to the right. Vidal in a lot of space. What can he do for the Lions? Enters the box. Oh, brilliant bit of work there by Matthias Toghill. Works back hard and slides it away. Fought that attack for the Lions. It looked like Vidal was going to really test Ferguson with that effort, but not to be. Good bit of work there by Matthias Toghill, who I've got to say, Ludders has been really good upon return from Byron Bay. Since he's earned his spot back in the starting lineup, he's been excellent for the Tilford Zebras and slotted in without too many issues as a ball comes in from the corner. Danny Cohen meets it and heads it wide to the left. So a goal kick for the Zebras. And, they lead currently. We're 10 minutes into this clash.
It really is just an embarrassment of riches to have someone of the calibre of Matthias Tolkill just to slot back in with Kurt Ingles out. They're both very great, very good fullbacks. Both of them were, well, not in the end of the season team of the year, I don't think, but in my team of the year last year, both of them were at right and fullback. So just great defenders, just hard as a rock, and they offer a lot down the line as well in terms of the attacking qualities as well. So in the meantime, Trent Pearce with a free kick. Shocker, a short free kick, and McEwen intercepts it. He looks to put through Ethan Ingles on the right here, and he's fouled by Pearce in the process. So free kick for the Zebras. I don't think Ingles was going to reach that ball. Had a little bit too much pace on it in the end. So probably a good result for the Zebras just to get the free kick, but not really within scoring range, barring some kind of miracle. And that will be about 40, 45 odd yards out. So Whitehall standing over this one. He's going to have to find the head of probably Lazinski. And he almost does, but it's spilled out to the left off the Lions defender. I think it was Tom Young. So they're going to throw in for the Zebras on the left-hand side of their attack. Fag takes, goes short to Courtney, who goes the 1-2. Fag with it again, sends in the cross. McEwen attempts to touch it down, but Pearce gives good pressure and sees it out, but his pass is a bit of a stinker. Ferns comes out with it in, dishes into Ingles, who tries to flick it over, looking for Fielding, who's forward again, but the Lions come out with it. Vidal now on the right-hand side, goes back to McEldowney. He puts it down the line looking for Danny Cohen. On the halfway line now, looks to put in Dean Watkins. Great dummy there from Lazinski, just from the ball from, I think it was Whitehall. And Alan McEwen is muscled off very well by backtracking Dean Watkins in the end. It's come out for a Zebras throw-in. Tolkill with the ball now. Goes shot to Fag. He goes across to Adam McEwen. He goes back to Fag on the left. He's looking for the cross here, is Fag. He just chips it deftly into Ethan Ingles, who touches it down, puts it out on the right to Curran Ferns. Haven't seen too much of Curran, my fire starter so far, Gilly. In the meantime, just Fielding sent in a ball and looking for Lazinski, who is offside in the end. But Duncan gets to it first, and he lobs it really long. Great goal kick in the end. But Russell Courtney just dishes it out to Fielding, who goes back to that man, Russell Courtney. Goes out on the left to Toghill. He goes down the line to McEwen, who just outsmarts McEldowney there. He's got Nick Cuthbertson for company now. He gets around him. He gets around another couple of lines and looks to put it into Lazinski, and that was a stinker. Whitehall's come out with it in the end. He puts it across to Lazinski on the left. A little bit too much pace on there. He's got McEldowney for company, so he's going to have to try and get around him. He does. Sends in a low ball, and Duncan comfortably mops that one up in the breadbasket.
Scutt strolls forward, of course playing at fullback tonight. More accustomed to seeing him up the ground. Here he goes, crosses halfway, looks to feed down the left-hand side to Ben Watkins. It's cut off by the Zebras. Ferns with the ball, dishes into Henry Fag. Walsh now on the right. He's picked out Ingles well, but he's just caught the back of his heels here and cut it off to the big stalk, Nick Cuthbertson. He gets moving, tries to feed into the centre. It's cut off by Fag, and now Ingles tries to roll it on further for the skipper. Comes along to the Kingborough defence, and Lazinski collides late with Scutt. It's waved on by Barker. We're out on the right-hand side now as Cohen tries to hold up play. And Courtney sees this one out. Gives Kim Barker an opportunity to have a word or two with Lazinski. Just telling him to pipe down that physical brand of football he loves to play, Lazinski. Just need to reduce the effort. Speaking of physical, we got a tweet from Callum Pask about Ben Whitehall. Pleasure to see a white-hot Whitehall on a Friday night. Hashtag can bench press. I'll take your word from it. It looks like a real unit. On the left-hand side now, Ben Whitehall with the ball. Ben Whitehall. Ben Watkins either. Gets the ball, cuts inside and fires well wide of goal out to the left. We're getting a few tweets that's coming in crystal clear, which is great to see. Of course, this is more trialling than anything. As Ferguson puts it out to left, finds Courtney. The Englishman takes a touch, puts it back into Ferns. He guides it back well to Ferguson. And we're out on the right now through Fielding, Mr. Silk Boxes. Looking for Walsh. Misguided ball flies well wide of him and out for a throw-in.
The Zebras overwhelmingly dominant so far in this game, mate. But a few errant passes have just cost them in and around the 18-yard box. Just the cutting edge, the final ball. They probably could be 2 or 3 up, you'd have to think, such as their dominance. But they're attacking with their classic press, using the width very well. Not really using Curran Ferns. A lot of them used to him with the ball once, but that might just be my eyes playing a little bit of a trick on me. Lizinski with the ball now goes into Fag. He puts through Ethan Ingles. He's got the pace here to beat Cuthbertson. He has the first time shot. Oh, it's just wide of the left upright there. Ethan Ingles. He almost had the pace on Cuthbertson, but the Storkel got back to him very well. To his credit, and Ethan Ingles was forced into a first time shot. And as soon as he hit it, Duncan looked very comfortable just to see that one wide of the left upright. But it's an effort from young Ingles. So we're into the 16th minute here, just about to tick over to the 17th at KG5, and the Lions have a goal kick. Down 1-0, courtesy of a very flashy Josh Fielding goal. He knows how to score on. He's played virtually all over the park over his career. A couple of big shootings under his belt as well. Goal kick comes. McEwen gets a head straight up in the air. Lizinski attempts to get one down, but he's marshalled well by Cuthbertson. In the end, it's spilled out to Lizinski again on the left. He bustles over Vidal, goes inboard to Benny Whitehall. Whitehall, his pass is a bit errant as well, and Watkins intercepts it. McEwen, great tackle from McEwen, a bit of work rate, dishes it into Ethan Ingles, who fires in a very low, cheeky shot, looking for the bottom left, and just wide and left upright again for Ingles. Good bit of play there again from the Zebras, and you have to think another one is definitely coming soon. The 2-goal cushion. So another goal kick for the Lions, who need to find something. They need to muster something up just to break down the Zebras going forward, because their bigger bodies, their pressure and their press is causing all sorts of problems for Colin Robbins' men.
Ferguson plays it short. He's got Courtney here, the Englishman, former Welsh Premier League defender. Spreads it across to his centre-back partner, Fielding. Oh, wonderful bit of work there by Ingles. Lets it roll over his boot and picks out Walsh. Walsh with a loud set of wheels, tries a loud bit of play and tries to dish in the middle. It's cut off by Young. Young gets it back to Scutt. He gets moving. Chips it over the top and into the centre. Cohen with a nice header out on the left. Looking for Ben Watkins. Cut off by Fielding. Oh, a little razzmatazz there from Fielding. He hasn't lost anything in his old age. The journeyman, been about just every club in the state. As there's a handball that holds play, and Kingborough Lions will have a free kick just beyond halfway. Tom Young has it, puts it out on the left, picks out Ben Watkins. He cuts it in, finds Turner, shoves aside Ferns and gets it moving up the park, looking for Cohen. It comes back to him. He tries an ambitious strike. It's cut off well by Toghill, but his pass just slips by Ben Whitehall and out of play for a throw-in. So Kingborough look to go down the right through McEldowney. Throws in, retrieves it back from Vidal, tries to get it over the top for Vidal once more, and it's seen out by Toghill, who's been rock solid this evening. We are some 19 minutes into this contest, and so far it's been all Zebras. They lead 1-0 through a 7th minute Josh Fielding goal. Kingborough Lions couldn't clear the danger, and Josh Fielding took full advantage, striking in to the bottom left corner. Throwing comes now from McEldowney into the box. Cohen tries to pick it up. He's got Courtney for company. In the end, he's ended up on the deck. I'm not sure what's happened there. Vidal gets it, puts it across the box. It's seen away by Walsh. Danger's not clear, though. Comes to Watkins. He tries to get by a couple. Seen clear now, out on the right. Ethan Ingles on the ball, a long way from home. Dishes into Ferns. He goes back to Walsh, and they'll look to settle things a little. No, they won't. Panically move forward by Walsh, and it's picked up here by Tom Young in midfield. Gets across to Jack Turner, and then they go back to Watkins, or Pearce even. Pearce spreads it well wide. Finds Vidal. He beats Toghill. Now from the byline, he'll look to square it up. Oh, cut off well by Courtney. He reads the play so well to McEwen. He'll dash forward. He's got Whitehall offering out wide. A loud set of wheels from Whitehall. He tries to bustle his way through. McEldown, he's got it. Meets the ball first and he's brought down by Ben Whitehall. Not a heap in it, Ludders, but enough for Kim Barker just to pull that one up and give Kingborough Lions a free kick in their defensive third. The big stalk, Nicky Cuthbertson, a few Friday nights ago, lit up this place. Absolutely lit it up. 2 goals, very sound defensive performance, and I'm looking for more of that tonight. We haven't seen any marauding runs forward from the big stalk yet, but I'm sure they're yet to come as Fielding sends forward down the left, well controlled by Whitehall with a volley, gets it back from his skipper. In the end, the big stalk wins out, feeds forward. Turner tries a bit of trickery to get it down the right. It's cut off by Toghill. He goes back to Courtney, takes a touch, sells a bit of candy, looks inboard, finds Ferns. A lot of space in midfield there for him to operate. Dean Watkins eventually closes him down. Goes back to Walsh, skips by one. Keeps running, does Walsh. He's got Ben Watkins there for company. He's burnt him off. Plays it into the centre. It's cut off in the end by Tom Young. Scoops the ball forward. Ben Watkins on it now. He looked to race forward. Finds Turner. A lot of time and space to pick out a pass here. In the end, he holds on to it for a little bit and puts it out to the left. Young's run on. Slipped over as he looked to pass, and Zebras might attack here down the right. It's cut off in the end. Straight back to Zebras, though. Ferns ping-pongs it forward, and it's Henry Fagg who tries to feed through to Lazinski, and it's sent out of play, so it'll be a Tilford Zebras corner in the end, I think. There's a long way from the corner flag, but it's ended up ricocheting out for a corner, so Zebras will look to try and make this 2-0. They've looked the good so far, you've got to say, Alex.
Yeah, they really have, and I think that Henry Fagg has also commanded the middle of the park very well. Adam McEwen's getting plenty of possessions, just that cutting edge, that bit rash with that final ball, and in the attempts to get the final cross in or the final through ball. Corner comes in now, it's a short one, into Joshy Fielding on the corner of the 18. He sends in the cross. Courtney lurking, cleared out by Young. Walsh fires an ambitious strike away. Calls for a handball. Whitehall in the meantime sends in a ball, and Duncan, luckily, after a bit of a semi-stumble, mops that one up quite comfortably and throws it out. Now it's out off Curran Ferns. No, it hasn't come out off Curran Ferns, and the Zebras will have a throw in. Walsh on the ball now. The Zebras look to go forward again. McEwen on the ball now in the centre circle. He turns. Too much space for the attacking midfield. He goes across and backwards to Toghill. Goes further back to Courtney. He puts it inboard to Fagg. He goes back to Josh Fielding now, the goal scorer. Very composed here from Josh Fielding with Danny Cohen lurking. He goes around him into Henry Fagg. Maybe Josh Fielding can muster up something like that. Russell Courtney on the ball now, goes out across to Whitehall on the left. He sends in a cross at the back post. Ethan Ingles lurking. He gets a foot to it and shouts from the crowd. It's screaming that it had gone in, but it's a bit of a problem with depth perception there. It's just wide with the right upright and in behind the netting. Good effort there from Ingles again. He's really knocking on the door to get his first of the night. You know he can score them. He's scored a couple of hat-tricks earlier on in his senior's berth at the Victory League level this season. And since then he's really cemented his first-team spot.
That's where he played last year, but that might just be me. He's definitely a rising star of the competition, that's for sure. As Duncan feeds forward. Looking for Turner out there. It's won in the end, strangely, by McEwen. And Turner's bustled into him, so it'll be a free kick against the Kingborough midfielder. And it'll be Henry Fagg, Hooch, of course, Turner and Hooch. So Turner gives away the free kick, and Hooch to deliver this one in. I'm not sure if he's the dog in the movie. I haven't seen it, I must admit. Played forward now. Cuthbertson heads away, looking for Ingles, seen away from Watkins. He finds Scutt. Scutt to Ben Watkins and then to Dean. The brothers combine. He moves forward, chips it over the top. It's cut off quickly in its tracks by Dwayne or Walsh. But a bit of untoward contact there. I think it might have been a handball, and it'll be a free kick for Kingborough Lions. To be taken by Turner, who's been in just about everything for Kingborough so far. Plays forward. Looking for Ben Watkins, cleared comfortably by a Walsh. Beyond halfway, looking for Lazinski. He's got a couple to contend with. The big stalk does really well, brings it down, spreads out wide to Vidal, who receives it back from Turner. No, he doesn't. Cohen gets involved, and Russell Courtney hot on his heels, sees it out of play. So I think Turner, it's pretty obvious he's the heartbeat of their midfield ladders, but even more so tonight, they're looking for him at every opportunity. As I say that, they don't. Cuthbertson spreads in the middle to Pearce. He tries to get it to Turner. It's cut off by Whitehall, and then McEwen now in the bullseye. Puts it out on the right. Curran Fern's on the ball. Holds it up a little. Goes back well into their defensive half. Finds Walsh. Walsh, of course, a while ago now, but he scored an absolute screamer that has to be probably top contender for this year's goal of the year. It was an absolute cracker here at KG5. As I say that, long ball played through to perfection. Finds Walsh. He cuts it across to Ingles. Holds it up a little. Fires it goal, and it ricochets over the bar. So Ethan Ingles, this first goal of tonight eludes him. He keeps pressing forward. He's been probably the most lively avenue for the Zebras, but no goal on this occasion. It'll be a corner for the Zebras as Whitehall strolls over to bring it back into play.
Ethan Ingles has had more chances in the last 10 minutes than most strikers would have in a game, Gilly. Hopefully one's coming for him soon, just to keep his head up. So Whitehall with the corner now in the 26th minute. We just ticked over to the 27th. Kim Barker comes over just to a bit of a word to Whitehall. I'm not too sure just what was said there. Whitehall looking for the far post, and that he hits. The Dow gets a header straight up in the air, and his second attempt is a lot better, but it spills out to Curran Ferns, who has a first-time shot, and it's a bit of a shocker, well over the crossbar. A bit Sergio Ramos-like. It's still sailing high, that one. Yeah, still going. Still
coming down next week.
Yeah, you'd have to think so. A bit of a rash attempt. Over-ambitious, you could say. So Duncan with the goal kick now for the Lions. So sort of starting to get a little bit more flow than they have in the opening stage of this match. Kingborough. Fag gets a header down into McEwen, and Turner lays in a bit of a challenge there. He's done well there, Turner. Comes out with it. He's got Whitehall to challenge him, and the strength of Whitehall wins out, and he draws a foul off Turner. Just frustrates him enough, shielding the ball, and so the Zebras will earn themselves a free kick here. Whitehall, you'd think, would be the man to take it, so he is standing over it. And Lazinski lurking centrally, just in the D, on the edge of the 18-yard box. He'd be the man you'd like to hit with Russell Courtney just circling around the back post as well. And he's staying in an onside position. He's looking for the back post, is Whitehall. And he hits it again. Lazinski gets a deft little header to it. Great save by Duncan. Dished out to McEwen, does Lazinski, and his shot is blocked away by Danny Cohen. Turner is on the ball now. No, sorry, it was Ben Watkins, and he goes inboard to Turner. Cuthbertson challenges McEwen, and it's out by Young, and Walsh will just chase this one back slowly. No real forward pressure from the Lions. He turns, and he opts to go back to Ferguson in the end. Goes short to Curran Ferns, who turns, got Danny Cohen pretty close by. Got to be wary of that. He sends it long and strong. It's not a great pass either. And Duncan mops this one up, rolls it out to Young. Goes down into Dean Watkins, who goes out to Scott on the left. He goes centrally to Trent Pearce. Well, great challenge by McEwen. 1-2 between him and Lazinski. McEwen's through. He rounds Duncan and puts it. Oh! What a great last-ditch save there from Tom Young on the line. Somehow, I even took the words out of my mouth. I had that one into the bottom corner, and Young got there just in time. One of the best goal line clearances. Defender's dream of those kind of clearances, Gillian. He may have saved his side there from a little bit of embarrassment. The 1-2 between Lazinski and McEwen really just embarrassed the centre defence pairing there for the Lions. In the meantime, Whitehall with the corner. Looking for back post again. Hits it, and Duncan gets a fist to it. Out to McEwen, who rounds Trent Pearce and fires a shot in. And it's rolled out off Lazinski in the end into the safe hands of Duncan. Not so safe hands. He's thrown it out straight out for another throw-in.
Safe, just a little too safe. Opts for the line instead of a teammate. Looks like there's a bit of an issue between No, for one of the Kingborough defenders. Is it the big Lewis Vidal? It is. Lewis Vidal was thought for a second it was one of our favourites in the big stalk, but not to be. It was Lewis Vidal, and he looks okay. So turns out that's why Duncan's thrown it out of play, Ludders, because Lewis Vidal, I don't know whether he quickly said, look, pretend like you're injured, because that was a shocker for me, but that's what happened anyway. Out on the left now, Tom Young feeds down the line, receives back from Scutt and hammers a ball into Ferns. It ricochets back, comes to Engels. He cuts inside and it's deflected out of play off Jack Turner, who is again involved in the thick of it, and it's out for a corner. So Zebras, tell you what, pressing very, very hard. You've got to give a bit of credit to Kingborough that they've kept them at bay to this point. Only the one goal. It could have quite easily been 5 the way the Zebras are firing them in at this point. So it'll be a corner for the Zebras. Current Ferns over it. He's got his skipper offering short. He's closed down by Scutt. And Barker's told Scutt to move back a little bit. So here we go. Ferns. It's a nice cross into the box, but it's well collected by Duncan. He's out of his line to collect and swallow that one. Thrust it forward with a big boot. Beyond halfway at the edge of the bullseye. It's not very well controlled down by Matthias Tolkill. Comes out on the left to Vidal. He's got the ball. He's held up well by Josh Fielding, who's scurried back. The ball comes across from Vidal looking for Cohen. It's cut off by Walsh. Out to McEwen now. He's got Whitehall offering. He goes him early. Whitehall's got it now. He's got McEldowney for company. Looks inboard. Finds Lazinski. He feeds back to Toghill. Toghill, not too many options on. He goes into the middle, right in the bullseye. Picks out his skipper. No, it's just streamed by his skipper a little bit. And stolen from Vidal. He goes back to Watkins. Watkins feeds down the line. And Walsh goes back to Ferguson. Ferguson feeds along. Courtney on the ball. Through to McEwen. McEwen has really miscued that pass, but luckily enough it went back to the centre-back. Oh, Matthias Toghill, a delightful ball down the left-hand side. But the big stalk, a fair bit of toe for those long legs. Puts it down the line, and that one flies out of play, and will be a throw-in for the Zebras. Toghill throws in, finds Ferns. Ferns controls well, feeds forward. McEwen dishes on to Lazinski. Feeds it back to McEwen. It almost comes to Ferns, if not cut off by Young. Ball comes in from Whitehall, across to the back post looking for Engels. Scutt beats him to it. On the ball now is Scutt. Feeds forward. Finds Vidal. He can't quite pick out a pass to Watkins. It's cut off by Fag. And then Young feeds down the left-hand side. Into the middle it goes. Turner on the ball. And then to Dean Watkins. A really nice ball down the left-hand side, but just a little bit too much salt and pepper. Put back from Courtney. Finds Ferguson. Ferguson very ambitiously dances by one, and then Courtney goes, I can beat that. And then dances by Cohen. And then Fielding dishes back to the keeper. He goes a little bit further with this effort. And, wonderful bit of work there by Hooch to keep it in. He gets it into the middle. It's seen out to McEldowney with a bit of a spin. Feeds to his captain. I'm not sure he could do it again. Comes along to Watkins and then to Turner. He looks to skip by a couple. Looks inside now. Ball picks out Watkins, but it's in an uncomfortable position for him. Zebras fire forward. It's cut off well by Young. He gets it out to Vidal. Out in front of Dean Watkins, asking a bit of him though, and Courtney gets to it well and sees that one out of play. So good clearance from the Englishman. And a decent little period of pressure here from Kingborough Lions against the flow. So Scutt to throw in. Goes back to Young, who's been really, really good at the back for the Lions. He throws through, finds Turner well on the edge of the box. He's tackled by Fielding. Comes to Dean Watkins, who fires high of goal. And that one's out for a goal kick.
Yeah, you are right, mate. Good little spell here from the Lions. It's nice to see them getting into the flow of play. Taking them a bit longer than Colin Robbins probably would have liked it. This is the 35th minute now. But better late than never. And the Zebras only have that one goal cushion. They haven't been able to put that second one away. So it's all up for grabs here at KG5. Ferguson with the goal kick. He's looking for Walsh on the right. He finds him. Somehow finds him. And he's bundled over, I think, by Vidal. Scott now comes out with it. He puts it into Watkins, who goes out to Vidal, who has swapped with Ben Watkins into the left wing position, with Watkins going out to the right. Vidal's pass is cut out by Fielding, who looks to put through Lazinski, who just holds up because he knows he's in an offside position. So Duncan with just puts it out to Nick Cuthbertson, who's almost bundled over by Lazinski. Watkins dishes it out to Turner, who's in the centre circle. He goes out across to Vidal on the left. He puts through Dean Watkins. He tries to skip around Josh Fielding. He puts in a nice little tackle and appeals there for a goal kick, but it has been given a corner. I thought it had come out off Watkins as well, but Kimmy Barker was right up with the play at the far end from where we're standing, so who are we to judge? Corner here for the Lions, and Trent Pearce will take it, so we're in the 36th at KG5. Could this be the moment where the Storkel gets one of his trademark header goals? He's at the front post at the moment, so I'm not too sure if he's going to be... He's very deep, so I'm not too sure if he's going to get an attempt here. Comes in, cleaned up by Fag. McEwen gets a backwards header, spills out to Dean Watkins, who scuffs the shot, so he's forced back to McEldowney. He goes out to Turner now. Good pressure from Ferns, forces Turner to go back to Duncan. He's got Turner again short on the right-hand side, so he's going to go down the line to McEldowney. You've got the Storkel in the centre, who's coming forward on his marauding runs. He goes out to Ben Watkins, and Matthias Tockel does enough just to see that one out for a throw-in. McEldowney with the throw on the right now. He's trying to get a little bit of pace up here for the Lions. Goes to Ben Watkins. He goes back to Scott, who puts it in board. It's cut out by Russell Courtney, who comes forward. Looks to put through Lazinski, cut out by the Stork. He finds Dean Watkins now. He's got Louver down the left, coming forwards. He gets around Ferns. He gets around Fielding, gets around Fag, gets around Walsh, and puts in a low cross. Not much power to it. And Russell Courtney does enough there. Sees it out. And it's a throw-in for the Lions on the left.
Well, dance moves than John Travolta there at Dean Watkins. Jeez, he did well. About 4. Loved his efforts. Kingborough Lions with the ball out on the left now. Played from Young into Pearce. Goes back to Turner, who's been good, I've got to say. Plays through to Dean Watkins. That man, the dancer, and is put down by Matthias Toggle and into the welcoming arms of Matthew Ferguson, but it doesn't matter as the flag was raised and was an offside, so Tilford Zebras have a free kick. Courtney on the ball now. Scoops it over the top of Danny Cohen, finds Matthias Toggle, who rather comically meets it with a header, heads it straight down and out of play. So it'll be a throw-in for Kingborough just beyond halfway. Phil McEldowney, Ludder's man, goes back, finds Turner, he goes down the line. Cohen looks to beat Toghill for pace, can't. Toghill goes back to Ferguson, he gives it to Corney, knowing that Cohen was coming, but he does well, composed, puts it across the box, finds Fielding. Fielding returns the favour and then receives back. There's a bit of time to stroll up the park now. Dean Watkins keeps him honest and he feeds just beyond halfway, finds McEwen. McEwen puts a nice ball in front of Walsh. Walsh looks to get running, plays it into the box, is cut off by McEldowney, comes to Ethan Engels, he's bustled over by the big Stork, and Stork sees it to his teammate Young, who smashes this one out of play and out for a throw-in. So Kingborough, they keep working hard in defence. They've done really well to this point to have only conceded 1.
Yeah, definitely. And I think other than the fact that they've had some good last line defending the Lions, it's also that element of a lack of the finishing touch, a lack of polish from the Zebras just to get their second 2-goal buffer. In the meantime, Duncan's dished it out to Turner, who's bustled over Henry Fagg. You don't see that too often. He puts in Trent Pearce on the halfway line, who puts through Danny Cohen. Can Ferguson get to this one? He will. A little bit too much pace on the ball for Cohen. So he rolls it out to Fielding. The journeyman, the goal scorer, number 7 as well, as a centre-back. You don't see that too often. Goes short to McEwen. He's challenged well by Jackie Turner, so he's forced to go back to Fielding, who puts it inboard to Ferns, who goes back to Courtney, who goes across again to Fielding. Just very composed play here from the Zebras. He looks to put through Toghill. It's intercepted by Pearce. Turner now with it has an ambitious strike from about 45 yards, and that's well wide of the right upright. No problem there for Matty Ferguson, so he'll take the goal kick. The Zebras are, for Jed Donahue, the biggest fear for him now would be complacency. I know they're dominating the game for the most part, but once complacency sets in, especially against a team of workhorses like Kingborough, they can concede, and it could be a very difficult night for them if they don't have that kind of mentality. They've got to get that second goal cushion before half-time, in my opinion, so they've got 5 minutes. Trent Pearce on the ball now for the Lions. He switches out to Vidal on the left. Walsh, he's overcommitted there, and Vidal is through on the left. He puts through Dean Watkins on the edge of 18. He cuts it across to his brother. Can he fire a shot away? It's intercepted by Walsh, who's, to his credit, backtracked very well. Clearance falls to McEldown. He goes out to Danny Cohen on the right now. He's on the byline, sends in a low cross. Headed clear, straight into McEldowney. And McEwen should get to this one. And in the end, Fag has seen it out, but only as far as Dean Watkins now. Good bit of pressure here from the Lions. Shot comes in and brilliantly saved by Matty Ferguson. The shot, didn't quite see who it came from. It was obscured from my view. I think it was Louis Vidal. So fielding now with the ball, and the Zebras look to regroup.
And they do, through the journeyman. Fielding goes back to Ferguson. The F's combine. He smashes this one forward, looking for the big tall frame of Lazinski. Headed away by Young. Comes to Dean Watkins. Chips a nice ball into the box, but seen well cleared by Courtney. Helped out by Fielding. Skips round one. And the young Watkins plays along the line to Engels. He puts it into the middle. Finds Lazinski. Lazinski feeds Ferns well. Ferns swings around the other side. Picks up Whitehall. He tries some trickery, but McEldowney is up to it. Your man McEldowney, Ludders. As it comes down the left side, as McEwen looks to enter the box, and the big Storkel is up to the task. Hammers this one straight into McEwen and out of play.
In the 18-yard box in this half. In the meantime, Dwayne Walsh has sent in a looping cross. Spills out to Fag, who has a very ambitious strike on the half volley, and it's straight over the crossbar. That one is also still rising. Might come down at the same time as the other one from Cohen Ferns earlier, mate.
I think when the sun comes up, that'll come down. It's going to be up there a while. They're still searching for a new ball. That's how far he's kicked it. So we're getting some talk that the stream there's a few issues with it, so we'll look to correct those. As we enter the 43rd minute here at KG5, still 1-0 to the Zebras through Josh Fielding in the 7th minute. Play forward out to the right. Fag brings it down, looking for Lazinski, sent away by Ludders' man. McEldown, he's been good. Turner with it, stolen from Ferns, gets it to Courtney. Courtney plays out to the left, looking for Whitehall's run, but the run never comes, and it's just rolled out of play for a throw-in. So not long to go in this, the first half of round 20 of the Victory League, and so far so good for the Zebras, but Kingborough, they'll be happy with their efforts given they've been under intense pressure. Nick Cuthbertson, we've just heard that apparently Kim Barker has called Nick Cuthbertson the stalker, which we're pretty fond of. He's brought in a few players here, Kim Barker, and he's just having a bit of talking to. Just wants to probably take a bit of that niggle out of the game, Alex Luttrell. It's good. Just we could hear that from here. Just settle it down, he said. He had the two captains involved, and of course Jack Turner, who's been in the thick of all things. So McEldowney to bring it back into play. Ludders' man, here he goes. Fakes one way, a bit of show business from the man. Down the line, it's cut off by Tog Hill, gets in the middle of McEwen and out to Whitehall. He can't control it, and then Ben Watkins tries to backhill it to McEldowney. He's seen out by Fag. McEldowney down the line. Cohen heads. He's still involved in this, Cohen. He's done well. He's kept fighting. Courtney headed down but didn't clear the danger. Cohen raced onto it, lost it eventually. Gets it in the centre to Fag and out to Tog Hill. He feeds along. Halfway, beyond halfway they go, the Zebras. Lazinski feeds a delightful ball across the box looking for Engels, but luckily scuts up to the task, and from the byline he looks to clear it out. But unfortunately the Lions beat in the former night, and it will be a corner for Zebras as they continue to press on for a second goal.
They're continuing very well, the Zebras. Lost a bit of pace there earlier in the, or just recently. Corner comes in from Ferns. Duncan just palms it over or fists it rather, over his crossbar. Done well there just to see that from another corner with Lazinski lurking dangerously. Henry Fagg has rushed to the fence just to get the ball. They want to take this one very quickly because we're in added time now in the first half. So we're into about the 46th. I'd have to say the clock has gone to 0. Whitehall sends in the cross, the back post. Corny lurking. Duncan gets a bit of a fist or a palm to it. Lazinski backward kicks it over the top of his head and Scott gets it out in the end. Falls it to Walsh now. He puts it out to Whitehall on the left. Can he get around McEldowney? Almost. McEldowney does pretty well there. He's forced him very wide, but he gets the cross in regardless. And Corny, swing no ding there from Russell Corny. He just did a bit of a 360 pivot looking for the volley. Toki now on the right, puts it through looking for Ferns. He just puts it back into Toki, very cheekily there from Curran Ferns. He's looking for McEwen and just misplaces the pass. McEwen's come out with him in the end. It's spilled out to Ethan Ingles, and the Storkel has sent out for a corner, but it won't come as Kim Barker blows for half-time. Very impressive first half performance from the Zebras overall. Dominated for 3/4 of that half. Probably should have been 2 or 3 up by the half-hour mark. But the Lions were resolute, in part thanks to a lot of errors from the Zebras, just lack of follow ball, lack of quality in the front third. I'm sure they'd be happy with the performance, so Jed Donahue would like to see a lot of things worked on into the second half to extend their lead, but Colin Robbins will definitely have it all to play for. He will go into the half-time break, I'd say fairly happy. A lot of defensive things, just particularly in the midfield, just to fix up in for the second half, as they hope to maybe get a point or even all 3, because it's all up for grabs, Gilly.
Yeah, I think on another night, Ethan Ingles would have had 4 goals by now. He's usually cutthroat in front of goal, but tonight it hasn't really gone his way. I think in the second half, if he gets a few more of those chances, I think we'll see him bury it. I think Tilford Zebras are well on top here at KG5 Ladders. I agree with you, Kingborough have fought well in this contest. They've been peppered, you've got to say, and they've stood up well under intense pressure. And Colin Robbins will take something from that. There's been a lot of spirit shown, and Jack Turner is clearly their key player, and I think Zebras know that, and they're having him closely marked. A lot of physical attention, and we've seen Kim Barker pull that up once or twice and just tell them to sort of settle down a little bit, because at times it has looked to get a little bit out of hand with some big brutes out on the field, you got to say, Ladders. So half-time here at KG5 Football Park. Tilford Zebras 1, lead Kingborough Lions 0. The goal came in the 7th minute. Josh Fielding struck well. It was Lazinski had the first shot and was deflected out, and Fielding did well and fired into the bottom left corner.
Yeah, good goal, good finish in the end from the journeyman. I think in part the biggest change that he has been good at times, don't get me wrong, but I think when you put a striker into a full-back role, he's had a lot of problems with the likes of Ethan Ingles at times, Dwayne Walsh with his overlapping runs. He's just got a lot, too much pace, to be honest, to be very frank, and even through the middle of the park. Jack Turner has been good on the ball. He's been a bit of a presence, but at the same time, him and Trent Pearce, there's not a lot of pressure, and Adam McEwen's allowed to get his foot on the ball, turn, same with Henry Fagg, and they're able to create the chances out wide, looking for Whitehall, who's a real menace. McEldowney's doing a pretty good job on him, but at the same time, you've got to prevent him from getting the ball by stemming the flow through the middle of the park, and the Lions simply haven't done that. Curran Ferns has been okay when he gets the ball, but hasn't really created much of a presence so far in the first half. But when he has the ball, he's been pretty good, but not up there with Henry Fagg, for mine. I think has been very influential.
We've got the camera focused on us now, Ludders, so it's time to shine. It's been an interesting spectacle. I think Kingborough Lions have been quite good in terms of they've created a bit. Geez, I like Dean Watkins as a player. As I say that, I've got a call in from Callum Pask. We'll get that one moving. Pasky, welcome to the broadcast. Lovely to have you on board from afar.
What a treat to tune in live Friday night and see not just live audio now, Gilly, but live pictures too, and white hot, fantastic to see him on the screen at home in South Hobart.
Yeah, well, I can't disagree, and all the great work of Ash, nothing would get done without him, so kudos to the great man. Pasky, have you seen the first half from the live stream?
Yeah, it's been a tight one. I guess I think Kingborough would be happy to be still in the game at half time, go to the sheds and reassess. Zebras probably ruined a few missed opportunities, but looks like a good game of football out there Friday night, so I can't be there. Well,
I'm sorry you can't be there because you're missing a bit. Ludder's really enjoying his new main man that he turned, Phil McEldowney. Ludder's new main man. Yeah, new main man. We've all got one in the league, and Ludder's has jumped on board. John O'Ladich left him, so he deserved the ship, and he's going with Phil McEldowney. And I don't mind the decision. He's been good in this first half.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. Fair enough. I'll tell you what, you boys have been red hot though. Gilly especially loving Turner and Hooch call, and geez, more moves than John Travolta. It's really, really sharp stuff.
Well, Pasky, you're heading along tomorrow night, or are the Mighty Beach playing?
The Mighty Beach are playing tomorrow night. Maybe viewers will be interested to hear that it'll be me versus the big corn dog tomorrow night over at Wentworth Park. Clarence v Beachside at 6 tomorrow. So unfortunately can't be there to contribute to the live stream tomorrow.
Wouldn't mind getting your tips for the weekend, Pasky. Of course, although the title's wrapped up, there's a few games of interest, I've got to say, especially Battle of the Cellar Dwellers tomorrow, Lonnie City versus Glenorchy. How do you see that one playing out?
Yeah, look, it's going to be a tight tussle, isn't it? I think it's probably one of those ones that's hard to get people excited for, but I think Knights might just shade it, and perhaps to be really tight, maybe 2-1, something like that. But I think Knights might just get over them. But I did see on the news tonight, Chris Hay, of course, not so secure for his job next year.
Yeah, Pasky, it's Ludders now, mate. I put a couple of questions to him at the presser this morning, and obviously the role for Glenorchy Knights coach will be advertised. So next year, what are your thoughts on that, mate?
Oh, look, it's hard. Unless there's a new blood out there, I don't think it's great. Coaching like this season I've seen a lot of the same coaches recycle. I don't know, I still think Chris Hayes got a lot of confidence. I sort of hope that the Knights, them advertising their position tends to suggest that that he won't get the job next year. But I'd like to see him still give him the job and see out the 3-year tenure and try to show that his plan can work, and in the third year it can pay dividends.
No worries, man. Well, I've got you. Was it you who was behind the slice of cheese T-shirts that South Hobart's kit room have put up?
No, it wasn't. I believe it was another Twitter fan of the slice of cheese, but it's really taken off through the first round of FFA Cup matches. I think there's a fair bit of chats to suggest that it might stick around in terminology, and I wouldn't be surprised if that shirt's a good little money spinner for whoever sells it. I'll tell you what, I'll be ordering a couple, and I think there's a fair few fans of football around Australia that are really taken to that saying, and it's all thanks to Gilly and the big corn dog.
Will you try and get some royalties, you two?
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, Pasky, just quickly, of course your boys, Devonport City tomorrow, taking the Rangers at Valley Road. Wouldn't want to tip that, and also Olympia hosting South Hobart.
Yeah, look, I've got a feeling Olympia might get over the top of South Hobart tomorrow night because it doesn't matter. It might be a bit harsh in saying that, but I tend to think that South Hobart might just take the foot off the gas a little bit now ahead of preparations for an MPL final, and it probably doesn't mean as much to them as it will to Olympia to try to prove that they can beat South Hobart even though the league's done and dusted. having said that, South will still want to continue into the Victory Cup and try to, I guess, aim for the treble. So it'll be a really tight one. But I reckon Olympia might just get it at home at Valley Road. My boys versus Rangers, again, a really, really tight one. But I always find it hard to tip against them. Just be a draw this time.
Wow. Is that the first time you've ever tipped against them at Valley Road?
Well, I consider it tipping again.
Well,
I consider that a neutral one, but yeah, it's probably the first time I've never picked that for the win. I reckon Rangers are pretty good value. Last time, a couple of times I've seen them, they've been playing good. Results just haven't gone their way.
and of course my boy the Townhouse inevitably will tear it up, so not a bad tip.
All right, boys, thanks very much for the live stream. Really appreciate it, as I'm sure others are in their lounge at home tonight.
Cheers, Basky.
Callum Pask there, Victory League radio extraordinaire. Obviously loves a bit of commentary, loves the slice of cheese as well. Great words from him there on tonight's game and a few matches over the weekend. We've got a tweet in from Liam Scott here, South Hobart's fullback, saying stream is all good, inside scoop, Hickey to coach Knights next year. So I'm sure Chris would really like to hear that, but thanks for the tip, Scotty. I think Shea Hickey will probably play till he's about 50 the way he is, but that would be interesting, wouldn't it, for argument's sake? Shea Hickey coaching the club he played for as a junior, I think, and through seniors before making the switch to South Hobart.
That would be interesting. You've just picked Shea Hickey to play the half century.
Yeah.
It's quite a call. No, I think Scotty said that quite tongue-in-cheek. But it'll be interesting to see what unfolds. Of course, I believe you've got something on the coaching positions tomorrow in the Mercury. So if you want to get the latest on Chris Hay and I believe the Kingborough job, read tomorrow's Mercury. Good work of Alex Luttrell, and you might be able to find out what's going on there. But I believe both will be advertised, and we'll see what happens. We might have a few new coaches out there. Be interesting. Of course, Chris Hay sort of said today he'll look to make his case in the last couple of games, and he certainly did his chances no harm last week with a 1-1 draw against Olympia. A really good fighting performance, of course, without the so-called new coach Shea Hickey last week. So no, it's great to see a more competitive competition with the likes of Glenorchy Knights being more competitive and testing good sides like Olympia, and I think that brings them back to more what they were like last year. Ludders, of course, they drew with South Hobart last year, so I think last week was a stride forward, and tomorrow they'll be looking to take down Lonnie City, and we're not far at all from getting back underway in this the first clash of round 20 of the Victory League. Another tweet in for Scotty. Get a shout out to Clampy Screams also, loud and clear. Good work from Clampy with the screams. They're also coming in loud and clear. So we're just about to get this second half kicked off. Tilford Zebras had the first half kick off, and they'll be firing it towards the football ground end in this second half. The Kingborough Lions rather will be running towards Grove Road to try and square this one up. Of course, at the moment, Tilford Zebras lead 1-0. And we have kick-off. Watkins to Cohen. Back to Pearce. Spread along to the right to Ludder's boy, McEldowney. Oh, he's done well. 1-2s. Oh, skips round. Is that Vidal on the far side? He's done well as Vidal. He's beaten Toghill for pace inside the box now. Pegs it back, but just not enough mustard on it. And is well cut off by the Zebras. They get running down the left side. Fag gets it to Lazinski, looks to move it back. It's cut off by Kingborough on halfway. Turner feeds back to Young. Young puts it along to Scutt and receives back. Plays back to Scutt, who of course has been experimented with down in the back line at full back as Tilford Zebras cut off that attack before it really got going, and they look to go down the right side, but McEwen's ball meets no one but a Kingborough Lions defender in Young. He goes back to Duncan. And the Dunkaroo puts it forward. Turner brings it down. Ben Watkins on the ball. Shakes him. And goes back to Scutt. Scutt puts it into the midfield. Danger signs here. Pearce just sees it away from Lazinski. The big Storkel light on his feet. those big long legs, but very, very limber work there from the big stalk. Comes to Scutt, who's going down the left side. He tries to fire in for Cohen, and it's seen clear from fielding.
Interesting to note, mate, Benny Whitehall has made the switch out to the right wing now from left. He's now on the left-hand side. Bit of interesting man management there by Jed Donoghue just to make the switch. He's down now, puts into McEldowney, and Courtney should get to this one and sees it out with a little bit of a body check on McEldowney, but it's a goal kick nonetheless. So Matty Ferguson here is probably going to look for something a little bit shorter. He's got Russell Courtney now. And may in the end opt for the long ball. When he does, he's looking for, I don't know who he was looking for there. I think Adam McEwen, but Pearce gets this one, juggles it and sees it down into Danny Cohen. Just chips it over the top of his head there into Dean Watkins. And Josh Fielding's done very well just to force the issue there. Manages to see it out for a throw-in basically on the quarter flag. So throwing from the down goes into Dean Watkins, who sends in a cross very, very deep, looking for Cohen. It comes out off Courtney. Watkins now goes back, and he's found Lazinski. Whitehall now chips it through to Lazinski. They're through here, the Zebras. If Lazinski can get it down, and he can't, and the Stalker comes out with it. He goes out to Joel Scutt, who puts it down the line to Ben Watkins. Walsh very close behind. He's forced back to Tom Young. Curran Ferns tries to put in a challenge, but then he goes inboard to Dean Watkins, and Joel Scutt has forced the throw-in off Joshy Fielding there, but I think it's come off Scutt in the end, so another throw for the Zebras. So disappointing turn of events there for Kingborough. Dwayne Walsh with this one. He's got a few options hovering around. Fag attempts to get a header on that one, and Jack Turner has headed it into the back of Henry Fag. So correct, Turner and Hooch, correct decision there from Kim Barker just to call their throw-in for the Lions. Joel Scutt with this one. Goes into Ben Watkins. Fielding very close behind with Walsh also fairly nearby as well. There's a foul there on Joshua Fielding there from Ben Watkins. Yeah, he is. You've got my mate Gilly here. He's got the Turner and Hooch movie cover up, and Tom Hanks with what breed of dog that is exactly, but it is a pooch named Hooch. So we'll have some competition going very soon, you'd have to think. As Duncan clears it out, and it's curled right around for a Zebra's throwing on the right-hand side.
Big Dunkaroos curled that one right out of play, so throwing for the Zebras. Walshy to bring it back in. Throws forward, looking for Lazinski. It's cut off well by Scutt. Looks to get moving. He plays it into the hand of Walsh. Waved on by Barker. Walsh gets running. Picks them into the box. It's cut off by Young. And gets it out looking for Scutt. Waddle cuts it off. Nice ball across the box. Picks out Ingles. This one he is definitely handled, and it'll be a free kick for Kingborough Lions. Just hasn't been Ethan Ingles' night, Ludders. As I said earlier, on another night he would have bagged a hattie. He's usually pretty cutthroat, is the young striker. The ball played forward from Pearce, picks out Turner well. To Ben Watkins, good touch, cuts inside of Walsh. Tries to find Turner, puts it just wide of him. McEwen cuts it off, goes to Whitehall. Whitehall goes to Fielding, receives back to Whitehall. A nice ball across, looking for McEwen, but the big stalk is there to head down. Gets it down. Finds Turner. He finds Watkins. A nice turn from the youngster. Gets it along to Cohen. Hasn't been his night either. It's stolen from Courtney. Gets it out wide. Finds Whitehall. He looks to take on Pearce in a foot race. He's beaten Pearce. Now he's got Scutt for company. His touch lets him down. Lets Scutt in. Scutt plays it away from the sliding Lazinski. Finds Ben Watkins, who passes halfway. He looks to get running. Benny Whitehall. The Pelican Whitehall works back, wins that one. Gets to the Lazinski, just inside his half. Plays it forward. And well cut off by Young. Gives it back to the big Dunkaroo. He puts it high, skied ball. One in there by Lazinski. Taken by Ben Watkins down to Scutt. A ball that it's not a bad one, looking for Cohen, but Fielding wise to it, cuts it off and gets dashing forward. Plays a nice looking ball into the box, but McEwen and him on different wavelengths, and Duncan will regroup for the Lions to Young. Young looks to play it forward and find the feet of Pearce, but Ferns meets it first. Goes to Lizinski, who goes back to Whitehall. We look to whip it in. Got a bit of time and space to do so. Finds McEwen at the edge of the box. He skips into the box. He's got this one too easy. Adam McEwen fires to the right of Duncan, and that is 2-0 for Tilford Zebras. A nice ball from Whitehall to pick him out at the top of the box. Got by the defence a little bit too easily and then fired into the bottom left corner. And that is 2-0 Tilford Zebras and Adam McEwen on the score sheet.
Yeah, he did very well there. He just broke through. I think it was Nick Cuthbertson and Phil McEldowney there in the end. And just a little bit, his nimble feet helped him out very well there, just seeing it into the bottom corner. But a great ball from Ben Whitehall. 52nd minute was that goal at KG5, and the Zebras finally have that cushion that they were waiting for and queuing up for basically in the first half. All that's left now is ready for Ethan Ingles to get his deserved goal if he can just get a little bit more quality away on a few more shots on target. So Curran Ferns in the ball now for the Zebras. He goes back to Matty Ferguson in goal. Pressure from Danny Cohen and Turner here. He goes it back out to Ferns on the left. He's very compressed. He gives it into Walsh. He tries to get around Ben Watkins, who passes it back to Scott now. He goes back to Tom Young. The Lions still very pressed here, not out of danger at all. And Duncan's done very well though to see it into Scott, splitting Lazinski and Walsh. The two Zebras are attacking players at the time there. Switches out to Vidal now. And Toghill attempting to jockey, and Vidal has got around him on the right now. Toghill makes some ground up back and he manages to block him the cross there. But Vidal still has it. And Toghill lays in the tackle, the ones that we love him to put in. And Vidal has been a bit rattled and just dishes it across into Ferns, who goes back to Courtney, who goes out to Toghill. He puts it through looking for the Lazinski, and Pearce gets onto this one in the end. And Tom Young now. And Phil McEldowney has attempted to switch it across goal, and Lazinski has intercepted it. So we'll have a Lions throw in now, just on the halfway line on the right-hand side. McEldowney goes down the line, looking for Dean Watkins. Spills out to McEwen, the goal scorer. He goes back to Fielding, the other goal scorer. He goes forward again to McEwen. He's got a few lines for company. Vidal now giving good chase. McEldowney, and they clash real hard. What a body clash there. And McEldowney's down. McEwen looks a little bit ginger as well. It's a foul, though, for the Lions in the end. McEwen putting in the final challenge. Trent Pearce goes across to Turner. Just holds it up a little bit. Goes back to Young, who streams forward the centre-back. Puts it into Ben Watkins, who puts a first-time ball in looking for Cohen, cut out by Russell Courtney. He goes down the line. No one there though for the Zebras. And Nick Cuthbertson will mop this one up. He goes inboard to Young, who's still forward. He's got Danny Cohen centrally, but he goes out to Watkins on the left. He puts it through to Young, who is in an offside position, but will have a goal kick nonetheless. As the Lions are finding a little bit of space still, very spirited. The away side tonight at KG5. Just haven't really been able to deal with a lot of the Zebras' forward pressure and momentum. And the goal was really coming. He created enough chances you're going to score eventually. Russell Courtney with the ball now. He goes across goal. He finds Josh Fielding. He's got Dwayne Walsh down the right. He goes to Whitehall though. He's forced Scott into a throw-in. So Whitehall will take this one. He's got McEwen short. There he goes to him down the line this time. Bit of movement there from McEwen. He's got a lot of pressure from Scott. He turns him and goes inboard. And he finds Ingles through on goal here. Can Ethan Ingles get to this one? Oh, the Storkel. Oh, the Storkel nearly a bit of a muck-up between him and Duncan. He's nearly put it into his own net, but just didn't have the pace on it.
Big Storks forced an absolute beauty from the Dunkaroo. He's just tried to see it away from Ethan Ingles, almost steered it into goals. The corner's taken short, and Hooch sends across to the back post, looking for Lazinski. He guides ahead of Goldwood, but it's well collected by Duncan. He throws forward. Looking for Cohen, he's way overshot this one, and Toghill should mop up at the back for the Zebras. Yeah, it could have been a very, very awkward situation between Duncan and the big Stork. He's feeds forward to Ferns, receives it back, cuts it across nicely, picks out Hooch, Henry Fagg. Nice ball forward, picks out Lazinski. He gets it moving immediately, finds Courtney on a bombing run, who lofts it into goal. It was a supreme finish, Alex Luttrell, but unfortunately offside. The linesman, this is the second or third time I've seen Courtney score delightfully and being ruled offside. Of course, recently against the Rangers, he thought he scored the winner if not for the linesman. So I don't know whether the linesmen just don't like Russell Courtney or if he just has a habit of being in an offside position. As Whitehall plays across to Ferns, gets it to Lazinski, dinks it up. Fag keeps it moving to Toghill, who tries an ambitious strike a goal, almost turns into a golden effect as Duncan manages to get moving and see it out. Out to Lutter's man, McEldowney, who clears the danger. Dean Watkins does well, beats Ferns, looks to beat another in Fag. Still has the ball, plays on the right, looking for Vidal, the ball stayed in nicely for him. Vidal should whip in a ball here, looking for Turner, it's sent away by Fag and should be helped further by Toghill. No, it's come back out to Vidal, so he can look to re-enter for the Lions. Goes to Dean Watkins, it's cut off well by Ferns, but comes back to him, he looks to feed Pearce. Cut off nicely by Lazinski, gets back and steals from Pearce. Fielding with a ball now. Plays through looking for Ingles, it's cut off by the big stalk. He was wise to that one, wasn't he? Plays it through, finds Scutt. He'll look to get moving, goes beyond halfway, does well, beats McKeown with a dink inside. Turner plays back to Young and then the big stalk. Pressure coming from the Zebras though, they're really pressing hard. Fielding stayed up there. Young on the ball now, just beyond halfway. Plays it forward to Ben Watkins, and Whitehall sees this one out, so it'll be throw-in for Kingborough Lions, and Scott will look to bring it in. He's looked fairly comfortable at full-back, a bit of a foreign position for the former Knight, as the big stalk sends a swooping ball out to the right, finds Vidal, he puts it into the middle. Cohen's beaten by Corner, comes to the edge of the box to Dean Watkins, and it's a strong strike at goal, but it bounces into the grateful arms of Matthew Ferguson.
He's done very well there, Dean Watkins, but Ferguson up to the task. In the meantime, McEwen puts out wide to Whitehall on the right. He comes forward, Scott jockeying well. He looks to put through, I'm not too sure who there. And they appeal to Kim Marker for something, I'm not too sure what. In the meantime, the Lions have come forward here through Turner. He puts it out wide to Watkins. A bit of a 1-2 cheeky there between the pair, and Ferns lays in a nice slide tackle on Turner. Fielding comes out with it in the end. He goes back to Whitehall. Good defending here, good forward pressure from the Lions. This is a hold up in Whitehall. They hurt the throwing as well. So Turner on it now. Goes back to Scott throwing from the throw-in, and Tom Young now goes out to Turner, back to Scott. Nice triangle work there from the Lions. Nick Cuthbertson on the ball. He comes forward and chips it out wide, looking for Dean Watkins. He looked for Danny Coleman. It was intercepted well by Curran Ferns. Turner comes out with it now. He's just inside the centre circle. He streams forward. No real pressure until he comes to meet Fag. Nice 1-2 between him and Watkins. Good bit of play here from the Lions. Good tempo. Good interplay, but Fielding comes out with it. Fag now back to Fielding. And McEldowney almost gets the ball off Fielding. McEwen puts it back to Fielding, who's gone on a bit of a run down the left here. Loves a bit of attacking movement, does Joshy Fielding. And McEldowney's done quite well just to force the issue there against the journeyman. As Ethan Ingles lays in a bit of a sliding tackle on Louis Vidal. Scutt on the ball now. He puts it out to Watkins on the left. Calls for the 1-2, but he opts to go into Turner, and yeah, it wasn't the greatest of touches, and Ferns dishes out some good pressure. Young on the ball now. Dean Watkins, and he's looking for Joel Scutt, but hit and miss there, Dean Watkins, with his touch.
Well, if McEldowney is your Lions boy, I've got to say Dean Watkins, mine. I love his efforts. He's going to be a super player. As the throw-in comes down the line from Walsh, and I'm not too sure what went on there, but it'll be a free kick for the Zebras. Whitehall over it. One thing that Whitehall's really added to the Zebras side is he's made them even a bigger threat from set pieces, because he sends in a dangerous long through ball, and that's exactly what he's done here into the box. Sent away with a head from Young. Spills out on the right. Lazinski looks to backtrack. Goes back to Toghill. Back to Lazinski, a cheeky little back heel down the line, looking for Ferns. Ferns blocks McEldowney away, Ludder's boy, and he'll have a throw in. Throws it down the line, a head coming from Vidal. It's seen back the other way from Toghill. He picks out Ferns, he's smothered by a couple of Lions, and it spills out of play, so it'll be a throw in for the Zebras. We're into the 62nd minute here at KG5 Football Park. Throwing comes in. So Lazinski holds it up. He's got pressure coming from the big stalk. He sends it back to Ferns and out to Toghill. Spills back out. Ferns still on the ball though. Toghill controls and they take their time on it, the Zebras. Just as I say that, Ferns looks to sweep in a ball and it's blocked out of play for a throw in.
I'd just like to say Chris Hay has just left the ground. He just rocked up for a couple of minutes, probably to just check the score or to arrest some players he'd like to recruit. The police officer Chris Hay and Glenorchy Knights coach, who we were talking about at half time. Just a quick peek at KG5. In the meantime, Louis Vidal has cleared out dangerous attacking moment for the Zebras. So Matthias Tolkien will have a throw in now on the left-hand side. He goes into Ethan Engels, gets the 1-2 back and bombs it straight up in the air. This is anyone's ball here in Fag, and I think it's Tom Young tussle with it. Fag wins out, sends in an attempted cross. McEwen attempts to get the header. He's landed quite heavily. Jack Turner now pans it over straight to Ben White, who's through here. He cuts it back. No one there except Lazinski. Can he put it across? And Duncan's muffed it up, and Ethan Ingles has a shot straight into the gut of Tom Young. Absolute pandemonium here in the 18-yard box for the Zebras in their attacking 18-yard box. And I think Tom Young is still down. He's taken one for the team there very well. Straight into the guts. Ethan Ingles can't catch a break tonight. Just trying to find. That was an open net there. Duncan was nowhere to be seen. And Young, probably by coincidence, you'd have to think was there just in time just to catch that one right into the rib cage. It would have tickled a little bit. Tess Tolk here with a throw-in now on the left for the Zebras. Long throw. Pearce heads it down. Lazinski gets onto it though first. He puts it through looking for Whitehall. Intercepted well by Scutt. He puts it into Cuthbertson. It's taken off him by Henry Fagg. He puts it into Ingles, who's misplaced the ball. Seen out in the end by McEldowney. Apparently my ball. McEwen on the ball now for the Zebras. He's pressured very well by McEldowney. And it's put down the line into Toghill. Sends a cross in the back post. Whitehall is lurking. Has an attempted volley, but he's no Dwayne Walsh. You can't see that one into the back of the net. And it's sliced off the outside of his boot, out for a goal kick. It would have been a very forceful shot to try and control Gilly, but probably could have done a little bit better than that, Whitehall.
Yeah, I'm not going to say too much about Benny Whitehall. He's a pretty scary figure. He's a good fella, but his biceps are fairly large as Dunkaroo looks to get it moving, and Whitehall, that man, gets up and sees it out of play. It'll be a throw-in for the Lions. Scutt throws short, looking for Dean Watkins. Spills out to Ferns, who hasn't had a huge involvement, but when he's been generally good. This one not so. Comes to Courtney, spills away. Vidal out on that right side, looks to bustle into Toghill. Toghill does well, beats a couple, retrieves it back, plays it forward now, a long ball. Looks to bounce over the big stalk. He controls well with a head. It comes into Pearce and it collects the arm of Engels, so that halts that run for the Zebras. Young on the ball now. Plays through, trying to thread the needle, and it's cut off well by Fielding, who in the end has no other choice but to set out for a throw-in. As Lions look to move deep down the left side. The throw-in comes in from Ben Watkins into a box. There's pressure coming from Fielding on Cullen, and Fielding does really well and gets the ball down the right. Cut off by Young immediately though, and he plays it back to the big Storkle. Storkle switches it up. And the right to Ludder's boy. Gets it moving. He saw Dow, he looks to turn with it, and he's collected by Matthias Toghill. So it'll be a free kick just inside the area on the right side.
Trent Pearce standing over this one for the Lions. And he's going to look to send this one looping into the 18-yard box. Good chance here for the Lions just to find, just to restore their fight in this game. It's not a great effort there from Tom Young. Scutt has an ambitious strike from about 40-odd yards. And that one's still rising as well. It seems to be a bit of a trend up that end of the ground, Gilly, tonight. There's Scutt and Benny Whitehall share a little bit of a joke. I'm not too sure what about, but you can hear Benny Whitehall's laughing up in the stands. Matty Ferguson with the goal kick now for the Tilford Zebras. We're into the 67th minute here, so not too long for the Lions to try and resurrect this contest, and the Zebras look to go 12 games undefeated. A pretty big feat considering the likes of South Hobart are hard to get a point, or three for that matter, off them, which they haven't done since they haven't done this kind of run since 2007, as I said pre-match, and they're well on their way to doing it. Their last premiership season in the Southern Premier League. Josh Fielding on the ball now. He's got a few Knights players around him. They come out with it through Turner now. He puts through, looking, I think it was for Vidal, but it's intercepted, and Ferns comes out with it now for the Zebras. He comes forward very well. Marauding run. Ethan Ingles puts it through to Ferns, who is offside. Nice little chip through ball there. But Ferns just in time his run quite well enough. I think we've got Andy Clark warming up here on the sidelines for the Tilford Zebras. Might be an option just to inject a little bit more attacking flair. Can play as a wing back or an out-and-out winger, so maybe Ethan Ingles could possibly come off. There's a Whitehall and Scutt challenge. And Whitehall is definitely not happy with that decision. Flips it at Kim Barker. Jed Donahue just tells his winger just to calm down a little bit before he gets a slice of cheese. That was hilarious. You take them off.
That was incredible. As Turner looks to play in Cohen, he's beaten to it a little bit by Ferguson. What? Goes Benny Whitehall. In the end, he's found the funny side of it. That was hilarious. Zebras with the ball now in the defence. Courtney plays it forward, finds Fag. He streams into the bullseye, gets it out to Engels, and he tries to keep it moving with a desperate little boot, but it's rolled into the big stalk. Nick Cuthbertson controls the ball. Dinks it along, finds Young, spreads further to Scutt. Strong pressure coming here from the Zebras. They look to hold up the Lions. McEwen comes up on Duncan. He looks to get it up the park, looking for Turner. It's cut off by Fag, who receives back from a 1-2 with Ferns along to Whitehall. Walsh now beats one and looks to play it down the right-hand side, but the line is the first to it, and it'll be a throw-in for the Lions. That was hilarious. That's the moment of the game. We're into the 70th minute here at KG5 Football Park. 2-0 to the Tilford Zebras. Goals coming in the 7th minute through Josh Fielding in the second half. Early in it, in the 52nd minute, McEwen made it 2-0, but it's been fairly smooth sailing for the Zebras, although Kingborough Lions have definitely shown a bit of a spark, which has continued a decent little period in the last 3 or so weeks. As the throwing comes down the right, Walsh sent away by Young, now out on the left side to Engels, who heads down, finds Lazinski. But unfortunately for the Zebras, that's where it ends, as he's brought down. Nick Cuthbertson. Will be a free kick for the Kingborough Lions.
Yeah, a little bit strappy there from Alex Lazinski, just to foul the Stalker. So Duncan will take this free kick for Kingborough. There's long down the right, and no one is there but Danny Cohen, but Courtney will get to that one first. He's got, Dean Watkins has done very well just to block off the route into Matty Ferguson. He's done very well, Russell Courtney, in the end, just to see that to Fielding. He's forced back into a pass to Matty Ferguson. He's got an option out wide to Russell Courtney, who he goes to. He puts it down the line, looking for Tog Hill on the left. He gets to it. McEldown, can't block off the route, and in the end he's fouled Tog Hill, so we'll have a free kick for the Zebras just ahead of their halfway line. Into the 72nd here, 2-0 lead to the Zebras. Doghill goes short to Karen Ferns, who bombs it long into the 18-yard box. He finds Whitehall, he touches it down. Scott's done very well just to assist his keeper, Andrew Duncan, to get to that one. Very good work there from Josh Scott. But Benny Whitehall had also done quite well to get the touchdown in the end, because that was quite a venomous switch from Karen Ferns. Scott on the ball now. He puts it down the line looking for Dow, and he can't back it up there, Scott. It's a good piece of work before, and he's seen it out. Zebra throwing. Dwayne Walsh with this one. He goes down the line looking for Fag. Headed clear by Scott, only as far as Ferns. He tries to get around Dean Watkins, who is up to the task there. Fag now switches out to Ingles on the left. He's going to get to this one. He's got McEldanny close. So he cuts inboard to Adam McEwen, who goes around the 18-yard box. Goes inboard to Lazinski, who attempts to chip it through to McEwen. Cleared out very well by Andrew Duncan. Walshy heads it down, though, to Ben White, who sends it across. Oh, great header there from McEwen, and even better save there from Andrew Duncan. In the meantime, Lazinski still has it on the edge of 18. And no, he doesn't. McEldanny has managed to get it out. In the end, Dean Watkins comes out with it, and the Lions counter here. Louis Vidal coming down the left. Whitehall giving good chase. He attempts to send it across. Soft fielding back to Vidal, who attempts to send in another cross. And it's a bit of a scuff shot. He's gone down with cramp. And Fag sees it out to Karen Ferns, whose pass is a bit of a shocker into Josh Fielding. I think he may have left it, though, just for... No, he hasn't. Scott now throws it into Pearce, who goes across to Turner. He switches it out to Ben Watkins, who's now playing on the right wing. Then Vidal has gone down with cramp for the second time in about 30 seconds. Hopefully he can continue playing. He's been a bit of a live wire for the Lions. In the meantime, Ethan Ingles comes through on the left here. He goes inboard to McEwen. He puts it out to Ben Whitehall now on the right. And don't know what he was attempting to do there, Whitehall. He's attempted shot, perhaps. I'm not too sure what he was going for, but that one's out for a goal kick. As Andy Clark comes over to the halfway line, so he will come on. You'd have to think that probably Ethan Ingles would make way. Ben Whitehall maybe switching, or maybe it's just a straight swap. I'm not too sure if that's what Jed Donahue was signalling to there. There's a bit of foot race here now between Fielding and Danny Coleman, the two number 7s for their respective sides. But Fielding's done well. We'll see now for a throw-in. He goes to Fag, who sends it long down the right. Young gets it down to Scott. A bit of a 1-2, and Young goes out to Pearce, who's forced back to the Stork. He comes forward. Just as into Turner, who goes out to Vidal. He looks to put it in to Danny Cohen, who dropped very deep. But Karen Ferns intercepted. Goes back to Ferguson, who lofts it long, looking for Whitehall. Turner appeals for throwing there from Whitehall. But it's gone out off him in the end. So Scott will have the throw. He goes down the line to Vidal. Walsh has done very well there just to pressure Vidal. And the throw-in is forced off Vidal. So the Zebras will have this one. Walsh down the line. Not too sure if he's looking for Fag there, but Turner got a head up to it. Down to Pearce, who goes into Watkins, back to Turner on the left. He puts it into Watkins again of the Dean variety. He gets around Fielding and force out wide to Vidal, who puts it inboard looking for Watkins, but Walsh intercepts very well. He goes to Ferns, who goes out across to Fielding again on the right. Ball comes in from Scott, intercepted very well by Josh Fielding, who goes across goal. The Zebras, a bit of composure here. Courtney now into Ferns. And I think Louis Vidal has gone down with cramp for a third time. So he may have to make way soon if he can't see out the rest of the game. He is limping a little bit on the jog. In the meantime, Josh Fielding goes across to Russell Courtney. Now Ferns on the ball. He puts it down the line to Tokyo. Back to Ferns. He's got McEwen close. He opts to go to him. He puts it across now to Fielding, much to the delight of Jed Donahue. Keeping the ball, he's screaming out. Whitehall now puts through Walsh on the right, and it's on here for the Zebras. What can Walsh muster up here? He sends it across. McEwen has an ambitious volley, very ambitious, but he got it good, a little bit of power behind it, but it curled out wide of the left upright.
Fair chunk on it, just couldn't go it at home. So 77th minute here at KG5 Football Park, 2-0 to the Zebras at this point, and Benny Whitehall comes off. A bit disappointing for the game because he always creates excitement, and on comes Andy Clark. So a bit of a defensive move from Jed Donahue. We bring on Clark, who's probably best suited to a defensive role at fullback, or he can play up as a winger, but brings a little bit less in terms of attacking prowess in comparison to Benny Whitehall. So looking to probably sit on this comfortable 2-0 lead that they have over the Kingborough Lions. On the right, the Lions go. McEldowney throws in, receives it back from Pearce there. McEldowney smothered by a couple of the Zebras. In the end, they see it out, so it'll be Ludder's man to bring it back in. Throws down the line, looking for Cohen. He gets a little bit of a boot on it, but not enough to guide it to Ben Watkins. Courtney puts it along to Walsh, and now back to Fielding. Plays into Ferns, receives it back. He's got Courtney offering up for a switch, but he plays through back to Ferns. Ferns returns the favour. Fielding with a lot of time here, so he looks to play forward, a long ball, looking for the freshly introduced Clark. He bustles into Scutt, but Scutt wins the ball out now to Fag, who spreads it on the left. Picks out Lazinski, holds up play a little. Plays along to Ferns. Ferns switches it right up to the right. It's chested down by Scutt, and he gets dashing down the path. McEwen bustles in, bowls over Scutt. It'll be a free kick for the Kingborough Lions right on halfway, and it looks like Kingborough Lions will make a change. And Fionn Collins will come on, and we'll see there's another change to be made. So we've got a couple coming off for the Lions. So Fionn Collins coming on, and Joe Davis coming on. And Ludders, unlucky mate. Phil McEldowney, who's battled really, really hard, you got to say, comes off. And Lewis Vidal, as you said, who's suffering a bit of cramp, comes off. So on we have Joe Davis and Fionn Collins.
See what Joe Davis can offer up here, as well as Fionn Collins, FFT president's son, Sean, who's right in front of us, incidentally. Nick Cuthbertson now goes out wide. Fionn now, he goes down the line. Intercepted well by Matthias Togg, who was sent out for a throw-in though. For the Lions, Collins on this one. There he goes, his first involvement. He goes down into Ben Watkins. Back to Collins now. Clark, his first involvement, goes to Ethan Ingles. Lazinski on it now, in his own half. Surprisingly, his pass is a bit of a shocker, and now Turner on the ball, who intercepts. He has a shot, but it wasn't much of a shot at all. Lacked any real venom. Ferguson now. He throws or passes it out to Ferns. Courtney goes back to Ferguson. Goes back out to Courtney on the left. The Zebras look to get a bit of pace going forward. Lazinski on it. Puts through Tog Hill. Back to Lazinski, who's playing a pretty defensive role, I must say, Gilly, in the closing stages of this match. Ferns on the ball now. He comes forward. Bit of space for the Zebras now, but a lot of players behind the ball for the Lions. Which is quite surprising. You think they'd have a bit more of a forward press to try and chase the game. McEwen now comes down the right. Watkins giving good chase. He's pressured him well, but McEwen still has it somehow. And he gets it out to Ferns. Clark on the ball now. He's very wide on the right, and Dean Watkins is forced to throw in. Great tackle from Watkins. Clark goes short and backwards to Ferns, who's forced back by Dean Watkins. He goes back to Josh Fielding. He could go across goal here, but Ben Watkins is lurking. Goes to Fag, back to Fielding. McEwen's calling for it centrally. Goes short to Henry Fag, does Fielding. Now he looks to send it down the line, and Dean Watkins has done well again, just to force another throw in. This is the forward pressure that the Lions need. It's still 2 minutes left, so they could pinch a couple of goals, maybe a point in this match if they were up to the task, and a little bit of fortune, you have to think, Gilly. Fielding on the ball now, goes down the line to Ferns. He's pressurable by Watkins. He's forced back dangerously to Russell Courtney, but he's got a lot of composure. The former Welsh Premier League star. He goes across to Fielding. A very pragmatic build-up here from the Tilford Zebras. Fielding goes down the line to Fag. He's got Walsh further down the right. He's got Ethan Ingles. He goes inboard to him. Back down to Walsh on the right. The Zebras are through here, but Tom Young has done very well. Sees it out for a Zebras throw in near the corner flag. Dwayne Walsh with this one. Goes inboard. He finds Fag, who's unmarked. He sends in a first-time cross, headed clear by Joe Davis. Curran Ferns has an ambitious strike from about 30-odd yards over the crossbar again. So they are pressing the Zebras, but probably lacking a little bit of the tempo that we saw for most of the game, that we have seen, for most of the game. As they look to shut up shop. The job is all but done. You have to think that they've got this one all sealed up. They get a little bit of form going into the Victory Cup in a couple of weeks. Long ball from Duncan, headed down by Ferns. McEwen on the ball now, looks to put through Ingles, intercepted well by the Stork. Ferns on the ball now, goes back to Tog Hill. Again, Ferns back out to Tog Hill, and he goes back to Russell Courtney. The Zebras try and regroup again. Back to inboard to Henry Fagg. He comes forward. He puts it back through, looking for Ethan Ingles. And Fan Collins has done very well there, just to see it back to Duncan. Back out to Collins on the right-hand side defence. Pearce on the ball now. Lions trying to get a little bit of momentum, Gilly.
Collins feeds down the right to Cohen. He'll play it in, looking for Ben Watkins, goes over his head. Walsh doesn't clear the danger, comes to Dean Watkins, who tries a nice strike, but it's blocked clear. Comes to Turner, retreats, goes to Scudder, who puts it along to Turner. Stolen off him by Ferns. He's got Fielding offering wide. He cuts in, finds McEwen. They're on here. Take a ticket. Finds Ferns. Oh no, he's offside. The Zebras run ends before they could enter the box. It would have probably been a certain goal in the 84th minute, but not to be, as Ferns is judged offside as Young gets it moving. Finds Scutt on the ball. Feeds forward. Courtney should watch this one over the byline, and does so. Almost was collected by Ben Watkins. So that is our Devonport friends like to do the back post stubby. Who do you think's been your 3-2-1 thus far? Given there's still 7 minutes and someone could break open the game as the ball comes back to Russell Courtney. He'll look to stroll down the left. A bit of time and space. Finds Lazinski well. He nods it forward. And Tom Young should mop up at the back for Kingborough. As Duncan gets it moving out to the left, looking for Dean Watkins, but he's asking a heck of a lot from the youngster, and the line beats him. As Walsh throws down the right, looking for McEwen. It's picked up by the Lions. Dean Watkins plays to Davis, and then through to Ben Watkins, who lets it trickle over his foot and out for Dean, who was strolling down this left side, but unfortunately the line beat him. Fielding throws back to his centre-back partner in Courtney, who for me he's probably been best on. Plays across to the left, finds Tog Hill. Tog Hill looks to sweep a ball over the Kingborough defence. It's brought down, and then to Fagg, who toes by one in Pearce. Puts it out to the left to Lazinski. Has the ball. Sweeps a nice ball across to the back post. Picks out Clark. He plays it in, looking for Ingles, and it's seen clear. Desperate stuff from Tom Young, and he sees it out of play, and Ethan Ingles cannot take a trick tonight. And it will be a corner for the Zebras. Curran Ferns strolling over to take this one.
You mentioned just before, mate, Russell Courtney was your best fielder. I agree with you. He would take my back post stubby if we were up in the Valley Road territory of Devonport. We're going to get an initiative like that going, I think, very soon. Probably next season, mate. It'll be it's very clever from the boys up at Valley Road. Corner comes in from Ferns, very deep. Head comes into it from I think it was Russell Courtney. Cleared out well though by Turner. No one there though for the Lions. I think it's a toss-up, best of field between Courtney and Henry Fagg. I think it's been very good tonight. Yeah, I think my 3-2-1 will be McEwen, Fagg, and in order. I'll go in order. Russell Courtney, Fagg, and McEwen, the goal scorer. He's been much of a live wire.
As the ball goes straight to Turner, he looks to chip. Oh my lord! The shot has come in from long range. It was an ambitious chip from Turner, who looked to test Ferguson off his line, and The crossbar saved Ferguson and has bounced clear. Could have easily been a goal back for the Lions as Collins moves along, finds Watkins, who looks into the box and finds Cohen. It's cut off from Fielding to McEwen, who tries to play it out to the left. Lazinski works back and it does well. Retrieves the ball, plays it into the middle, runs through the legs of McEwen. A nice bit of work from him, and then Ferns does really well to beat a couple. Puts out on the right to the substitute Clark. Fees in front of Ingles and Duncan beats him to it. Throws it straight out to Scutt, who gives and goes. Plays to Turner and then along to Dean Watkins on halfway. Plays the ball, finds Cohen. He lets it run through his legs and Courtney's there to mop up. Skips by Davis and then really, really good stuff from Dean Watkins. Races in and boots it clear. I was going to say before that, good shot from Jack Turner. Fielding's been really good as well, I think. Both the centre-backs for Zebras have been really good. They've been pretty defensively sound on most occasions.
Yeah, very good. I think the composure of Russell Courtney really shines for mine. If I had to pick between the two, he's not only his defensive qualities, but his qualities going forward, his skill. He can almost be an attacker. Some of the skill moves he dishes out in defence, which is just quite extraordinary. And I know he's going back to the Welsh Premier League on October 5th. I think he goes back. So just after the Melbourne victory game, so if he makes that one, there'll be a bit of a fitting tribute for fitting send-off, to him, and hopefully the Zebras will be able to get him back there because he's a ripper of a bloke and a really good player, a really good spectacle for the victory league. In the meantime, Walsh comes through down here on the right. He gets around Scutt, but I think that Tom Young was there. Tom Young just gets there in time to see that for another Zebras corner. We're in the 89th minute here, so I didn't think there'd be too much added time, mate. Probably 2 minutes or so, 2 or 3 minutes. Not an overly large amount of stoppages, a couple of substitutions and a goal. We've got Current Ferns again standing over this one, seeing if he can muster up an assist for a third Zebras goal and the 3 points, if they haven't already got it, which you'd have to think that they really have had most of this half and most of this game. This corner comes in, palmed away by Duncan very well. Collins now sends it out, good clearance, only as far as Tolkien though. He's going to line up for this one. Oh, just wide the left, right upright there. Matthias Tolkien, what an ambitious strike there, and closest one we've seen from a lot of players who have a few shots from range tonight from both sides. That one was about 35 odd yards, and he lined up for that one quite early, and you called it yourself that he was going for it, but just shaved the right upright there. So goal kick for the Lions. Duncan goes down the left this time. Joe Davis gets a head down to it, but only as far as McEwen. He switches it out to Clark on the right, very deep. He puts a foot in it and puts in a low cross. The Stork gets a touchdown, and Tom Young clears it out. Cohen now chests it down. Courtney giving a good little bit of pressure, but Cohen sees it out. Tolkien on the ball. He puts it down into Ingles. Ferns on the ball now. He goes out across to Tolkien, down the line to Ferns. He sends in a low drive, cut out very well by Ben Watkins. Ferns on the ball again. The Stork clears it out, and Joe Davis now puts it back to Collins. Tolkien puts in a very good tackle, and he comes out with it in the end. Can he keep it? He has. He goes inboard looking for Courtney. It's intercepted well by Cohen, but the Zebras come onto it again through McEwen, and he was looking for Ingles, but Duncan mops this one up, and the Lions again try to press forward.
Not all too pleased with that one was McEwen, as the ball's pumped forward by Duncan and bounces into his opposition number's feet. So it'll be Ferguson over the ball. We're into the dying stages of this game. We're into the 91st minute now. I only expect maybe 92 minutes. It's put forward by Ferguson. Fag heads it forward. He's collected Scutt though, so it'll be a free kick for the Lions. They look to salvage something from this contest. They've been pretty good in patches. And Tom Young just inside, or just over the halfway line rather. Well, looks to play short to Turner, and that option's closed down by Fag. In the end, he plays forward looking for Cohen. One off the big ball dome of Josh Fielding comes from Clark, and Fielding pumps this one forward, looking for angles. He looks to race onto it. Collins does well, gets back, sees it back to his keeper. And that is full time here at KG5 Football Park. Round 20, the first game of round 20. A 2-0 win for the Tilford Zebras over the Kingborough Lions. The first goal coming in the 7th minute. It was well put away by experienced central defender Josh Fielding, and the second goal coming early in the second half through Adam McEwen, who beat a couple and then fired home against a helpless Duncan, who was let down by his defence on that occasion. And they were the only goals of the game, and Tilford Zebras with quite a comfortable victory here at KG5 Football Park.
Yeah, mate, it was comfortable. 12 undefeated games for the Zebras, equaling a record set 7 odd years ago. They were the better side throughout, you have to think. Probably deserved to win by about 3 or 4 nil. I think the Lions, not without some of their own chances, could have snatched a goal in the second half, probably even in the first half as well, but just a little bit of a lack of quality in finishing. Zebras deserved winners, and hopefully they can continue that form next week going into the Victory Cup. Just quickly, Dilly, onto the FA Cup draw, round of 16 draw, which unfortunately South Hobart are not in next month. Tuggeranong United, the team who beat South 5-4 on penalties here at KG5 during Melbourne Victory, our state league sponsors, and it's just I saw the draw live today, and my heart sort of sank for South Hobart because had they play Melbourne Victory here, I know you said before the game when I told you butterfly effect, perhaps you could have got Melbourne Victory as well, but I'd like to think, for the sake of trying to make myself feel better, that it wouldn't have happened like that. But, you know, it would have been a great spectacle to have Melbourne Victory play here at KG5 against the now Victory League premiers in South Hobart.
Thanks for joining us here tonight at KG5 Football Park. We'll have more coverage throughout the weekend. Of course, join the boys via Victory League Radio from Devonport. Rig and Rocket bringing all the latest from Devonport versus Rangers. Tomorrow night, join Amin Ludders again from Warrior Park as Olympia Warriors host South Hobart. But for now, that's all from KG5.
Football. A game where greatness is defined in an instant. A game of suspense, skill, and strength. A game of trials and triumphs. All in the pursuit of one thing: victory. Experience all football has to offer. See Victory League live.